The Anvil Gladiator. It has an ejection seat. Dope name. Cool looking ship. It's got 4 forward-facing weapons, all lasers in the base model, although their DPS is lower than the Arrow. Way lower than the Hawk. It has the same shields as the Hawk, though, which are pretty beefy for a small fighter ship. It's got this dope drop-down thing like some of the other Anvil ships have, which we are attracted to. It has a turret on the back, and if you have a good gunner in it, then you can actually dish out quite a bit of damage. It does kind of make you wonder, why can't you just do it yourself? This big circle on the back is reminiscent of the Hornet. Perhaps you can put a fat turret on it like you can in the Hornet. There's no cargo space. So it's got to be for something else. Maybe an advanced scanner in the future. I'm not sure. You're going to have to look it up. Someone else. Maybe more knowledgeable. Or maybe just, I don't know, dick around with it and see. Average landing gear animation. Could be cooler. Alright. Let's go put somebody in our turret and do a little combat. The DPS on the standard weapons is pretty freaking low. With somebody in your turret, if you land all your shots, you're averaging more damage than the Arrow or the Hornet, but a lot less than something like the Hurricane or the Hawk. However, the main draw for the Gladiator is that it's a quote-unquote bomber, aka in space, it has a poop ton of missiles, because you can't drop bombs if there's no gravity. 8 of the missiles are pretty run-of-the-mill, the same kind of missiles that you find on everything else. But 4 of the missiles, the 4 big boys on the bottom, those are size 5, which is, I don't know if you know this, absolutely enormous. Now, if you set your missile priority, if you go in the missile menu, you can click the up arrows to change the priority of them, which is effectively changing which ones shoot next. This is really important because you can control when you're using those 4 fat missiles. I kind of blew through the 8 missiles in the first 8 missiles in this fight because the size 5s are on the bottom, and it wouldn't let me adjust the priority. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, which is kind of true of everything in this game, so just be patient. But suffice it to say, if you get one of these fat missiles off, you are going to do way more damage than you expect. They do about twice as much damage as most size 2 or 3 missiles, and they also have a way more dramatic launch. Here's me launching one now, and then in a few moments I launch 2 more. My lock-on was bugged, so I didn't get to see the explosive fruits of these missiles in particular, but it is still really cool. Unfortunately, once you use all your missiles, you are left with this tiny laser pea shooter. It leaves a lot to be desired, and it's really not that interesting. The turret doesn't do that much damage, but it does double the total output of the entire ship overall, so I would recommend having a gunner unless you are going into encounters where you're pretty confident that the missiles will help. The extremely large missiles, the size 5s, would make having 1 or 2 gladiators in a fight with friends against a larger target, like say you're going to take down a hammerhead or something, would make it pretty formidable, because it packs quite a punch, especially if you're going with a buddy that has dispersion weapons or EMP, which would basically make the lock-on process a more surefire exercise. But as a standalone fighter, it's really not that exciting with the base weapons, especially if your missiles bug out or miss because the enemy has flares or chaff and is good at using them, because you don't want to get stuck firing these little poo-poo lasers. at the end of a fight with all your missiles out. Here's me holding down the self-destruct button because I was bugged out and I thought it might be fun to watch.